thing that I really love from Skeldra's play that I got to see a little bit of today, I think his extensions and a lot of his creativity, especially with what he does after a weapon toss, what he does when he's unarmed, and how he treats his advantage state can be excellent. He is going up against Bamya. Everybody, this is game number 1. This is once again to get into winner's side of top 8. Skeldra already looking for that end light, the coverage there with the D-Sig. Oh my gosh, the whiff recovery, they're just exchanging hits, they're going blow for blow.
And I definitely know going into this, and I'm hoping that during off-season, Skeldra practiced a lot because he got 49th at BCX, and I'm sure that that hurt him greatly because he can't even rely on twos either because he's not really a twos player in that sense. He's definitely the 1v1 player. They're going even here so far. Skeldra without a weapon, going to pick that one up. It's back over to the sword. Nice GCD light. Wasn't able to find the follow-up after Skeldra got the dodge out in time.
Bamya now going to be stuck off stage, eating that weapon toss, fading back just a little bit, but this is going to be the reversal attempt. The sider is saying, hey, Skeldra, your turn to be off stage. Nice. He goes out there for the ground pound, but the weapon toss has other plans for him. Now, once again, picking up the great sword. Ooh. But you know what? I like that as a commitment because Bamya had no way to KO off that.
It was a little bit of a bold move, but it's also early and in game 1. Yes. So you can be a little saucy with it as he still ends up cleaning up the stock eventually. About a minute 15 into the game. So a little bit of a long start to this one compared to especially the Munir early stocks that we were seeing him get.
Okay, the neutral finisher there. Is the end light going to be enough to KO? And the answer is it is not. Bamya once again holding onto the stage. How is Skeldra going to be able to make it back? He tries to space out the recovery, but it was not safe enough on hit as Bamya was just able to find a sider to close out that stock. 2 stocks apiece at the moment, picking up the greatsword, and if you let him back onto the stage, you already know how potent Skeldra's damage output is.
Skeldra with about a 50 damage lead here, but Bamya's doing a great job of keeping him over, stuck on the corner. Even if he makes it over that weapon toss, yeah, it is going to be that sword. He had the great sword previously, so not really his weapon of choice here as they are now even. Bamya's done a great job, and now Bamya even has the lead.
He's being so patient. He's waiting for Skeldra to approach. He whiffed that end light. He whiffed it again, eating a D-light, eating a sider, but the weapon toss and the recovery gives Skeldra a nice and safe way to make it back onto the stage.
All right, it's GS time. You see him start off with a down air. He didn't follow up with the immediate neutral air. There wasn't enough damage for him to find that true, so he just turned around and hit the side air after that as the follow-up. Okay, the side light sending Skeldra over to the wall. It feels like he's just been on the defensive so much here.
Skeldra is so patient. Bamya jumped out there and then went back onto the stage to bait a weapon toss so that he can then go off stage. Skeldra, that time around, he did delay it. Now, the GCD light not finding its opponent at all. Tries to slide in with that side light. The weapon toss has an opening. The side light once again. And now Skeldra off stage. Can Bamya close this out?
Okay.
And yes, he can with that downer. Amazing.
So Skeldra, he's gotten the spot dodge of Bamya a couple times when he started with his 2 pieces on the greatsword, and he hasn't really gone for much after that. So I don't know if that's him giving respect to Bamya. I don't know if that's him still feeling everything out so he can get the full idea before he goes for any major commitment. Again, we are game 1, so there is time for the fact-finding mission here for Skeldra to figure out what to do after he gets the dodge from Bamya on greatsword, which he's going to swap over to now. Going to juggle those weapons to delay the weapon spawn to keep Bamya weapon starved.
Oh, being so patient. He just wants to catch that landing in any way possible, but Bamya is now going to be the one with the gauntlets. Skeldra is now going to be the one weaponless for just a moment. Great sword on hand, sword on hand. Eats a neutral, goes out there for the ground pound. So greedy, but he doesn't get punished.
He does throw his weapon, disarming himself because it does miss as well. Okay, but he was able to also get really lucky with the weapon spawn. Skeldra, it seems like he's been going so much closer to 50-50 with his weapons than we're used to. I think potentially that's because of weapon tosses. He's doing that more often than he used to do, so he's disarming himself, meaning he has to go over to the weapon spawn.
Once again, just using the weapon toss immediately as a chance to break space. It was unsuccessful, and now he is left weaponless up against Scythe. He gets hit with a downer. Okay. Is that the finisher? Not enough to be able to close it off the top, though.
He has dare nair potentiality here. He does have the lead as well. He's playing very carefully. You see him retreating over onto that soft platform. He's floating above Bamya quite a bit. Gets the 3-piece, and Skeldra takes game 1 after he was really struggling.
Did he not have a dodge? Why did he just eat that 3-piece? What happened at the end?
I assume it's because he didn't have a dodge.
Yeah, we'll just have to find out.
It's always tough to keep things in random access memory because you never know how long you have to remember it before it doesn't matter anymore.
Was that just no dodge? None at all?
Maybe he just didn't. Give me the replay of that again.
One more time, please, if
My brain's
possible.
not quick enough.
Yeah, because, like, okay, you know, getting a 3-piece with Greatsword, it's typically like, okay, we got a lead on this, or we were able to catch the dodge successfully. But if somebody doesn't dodge at all...
I guess it just wasn't off a cooldown. Yep. There was the dodge that came out there.
All right.
And that's like one of the like few handful of really strong follow-ups with like a finisher on them that Skeldra was able to get that game. There was one that he grabbed previously as well that was off of a GC side sig that came out from Bamya, again, because the dodge was burned, so he went for the immediate 3-piece after that, ending in the finisher with the big 4 stump and then the KO.
Yeah, against Greatsword, that is a weapon that you always just have to make sure that you have your dodge available, because otherwise you'll end up getting KO'd into the orange or very early red. You want to just eat the first hit of it, and then ideally you would have not gotten hit with the first hit of it. You would have moved around. You would have been really clever with your jumps and with your dashes. But if you do get hit with whatever opener they might choose, you need to have that dodge. You need to make sure that you have it as an option away from the 2-piece and away from the 3-piece. So Bamya that time around wasn't so lucky, wasn't so fortunate. Skeldra with an amazing finisher. We're going to be going into the next game now, but I gotta say, they kept it close.
Yes, absolutely. It was seemingly, for quite a bit of it, it seemed like Bamya was just going to have the edge most of the time and then be able to carry that through all the way to the ending. But no, Skeldra came out in the end. We'll see if this game changes a little bit or if that was just kind of a little bit of a fluke and Bamya still plays strong.
Okay, the 3-piece though, once again, Bamya eating the side on the way back down, whiffing the End Light. Skeldra in no position to be able to punish it though.
Nice.
He's getting so much damage off of each and every single one of these neutralities as well. Bamya patrolling the ground. Skeldra just delaying his descent on the platform, just chilling out. And there's the 3-piece once more, Sparky. What an opening.
This is more what I expect from Skeldra, but also Bamya could easily, we just need the switch to flip, and then all of a sudden we have ourselves a game here. Okay, starting off with the D-Light ground pound. There is a weapon spawn on the field. Skeldra throws the sword up. Bamya does end up bonking or getting bonked on the head. Weapon spawn comes in. Okay, he's able to grab the second one, grab that scythe.
Oh my gosh, the GC sidelight, beautiful whiff punish though, and now he's just trying to thread him with that end light. Oh gosh, Skeldra finding a whiff punish. Eating the recovery, just getting his jump called out there. How is Bamya going to be able to close this one out?
Bamya, that was scary. I was really scared that Skeldra was going to get something goofy, like a down air that hits when he's all the way down there, or like a weird weapon toss was going to hit Bamya and he was going to lose that stock. But no, he kept control of it. He got the stock, and now he's evened it up here on second stock. The scythe absolutely coming alive against Skeldra.
Tries to hunt for that dodge. Skeldra just dodging away, and 2 safety, 2 recovery is going to be coming out now. Okay.
A little bit of a bold move there. Okay.
Still able to make it back on. Bamya getting his dodge back just in time. How does he make it back onto the stage? Skeldra keeps on swatting him away, sliding off with that D-Light. He's got to pick up this weapon. He picks up the Greatsword. Bamya saving his dodge that time around, but it was not enough because Skeldra just picking it back up all over again.
And that's why you see when a lot of people will play against a Greatsword player is like they'll do exactly what you said. They'll hold on to that dodge. They will hoard that dodge until the moment where they need it when a potential string is going to come out. And then when they throw out that dodge and use it and it's burned, they just disengage everything and are going to play safely, move on to the soft platform, move over to the wall, run to the other side of the stage.
You have to punish them for whiffing the finisher.
Until that dodge then comes up right after that. Unfortunately, Skeldra was able to chase Bamya and catch him with the second string when the dodge was still on cooldown.
Okay, Bamya finding a sidelight. Unfortunately, the sider does not connect. Skeldra now on the way back down to the ground has a massive lead, has a massive advantage to his name. He's playing so safe, he's playing so patiently as well. He didn't feel confident enough that he had enough time to down her. The sider is still not enough to KO off the side, but that one finally will. Bamya evening it up, but the question is, can he even up this damage? Can he make up this damage?
So when we entered into our second stock for both players, Bamya was only like 50 damage behind, and he was able to even it up very quickly. Now he's about 80 damage behind, which again isn't unwinnable by any means, especially if he adds it up quickly, and he's going to do the same thing again.
Huge.
He's going to do the exact same thing again where he evens it up, gets another hit, gets the lead, but ultimately Skeldra got the next stock. Now Bamya's keeping the damage flurry coming, and Skeldra's not able to find very much after that recovery gets interrupted, but out come 2.
Oh my gosh, Skeldra not able to get the down in time, but it does not matter because the finisher is able to come out. Skeldra finding another 3-piece once again, and you know what, just back to B&Bs.
Yep. Now, one thing I'm liking more from Skeldra here is his weapon tosses are much better. I think there are fewer of them, and they are more focused. They are more on purpose rather than, there's space between us, what am I going to do? And then you throw the weapon toss out. I think they're a lot more on purpose and with great intent, and there's fewer of them, so he's disarming himself less often. He's able to stick on the greatsword, which is his better weapon, more often, and his opponent is just not able to handle the greatsword now that it's really up and moving.
So what we saw there on the last stock was that Bamya saved his dodge for the 3-piece, right? Just saved it right for the end. And that is when Skeldra was like, oh, okay, great. You just spot dodged. You just neutral air dodged in my face. I will now just be able to get this going again. Dashed in, was able to find the sidelight as the opener again, and then finish it off with the neutral. So that was really well played from Skeldra. That was a really good adaptation. As a greatsword player, you're always switching between preemptive punishes, which is when you think they're going to hold on to the dodge, and then reactive punishes, where you stop your combo a little bit early and then see what they did. So Skeldra, in the heat of the battle, he picked the right option. He was able to punish Bamya accordingly, and now he has a 2-0 game lead for himself.
And so, like, for the Bamya side of things, I feel like he's running into like something that I feel quite a bit when I play against greatsword players, and it's dealing with greatsword momentum, and that's very, very tough. And now even the sword momentum coming out from Skeldra, like the double recoveries that Skeldra is throwing out that Bamya's not expecting. It's almost like the way Qatar players will throw out double recoveries. So that's an interesting new, that's the KO off the top. That's an interesting new layer to Skeldra's greatsword gameplay here, is those chasing double recoveries that he's throwing out. But like we're seeing with Bamya, he'll lose his stock, all of a sudden get the stock on Skeldra, even it up, maybe even grab a lead, but then the greatsword momentum kicks in and he's not able to deal with it. He loses his stock, and then the same thing happens again. We rinse and repeat. He gets the stock off of Skeldra, he adds up a bunch of damage via the scythe, gets the lead, and then all of a sudden loses his stock.
Yeah, Skeldra that time around, though, he was sweating. He was off stage with no options, and he knew that that stock was gone. It is 2-2. Bamya looking pretty good opening off this game, I have to say. Skeldra picking up the greatsword once again, whiffing that sidelight, and that is a huge opening for Bamya.
Yeah, this is the smallest lead going into the next stock that Skeldra has had.
Okay.
And look, he's doing the same thing again. He's adding up all this damage. He's now taking the lead. He's keeping it going, but we'll see if Skeldra can get the greatsword momentum going.
Dashing in, dashing out, just waiting for the perfect whiff, waiting for the perfect opportunity to get in, but Skeldra is content on continuing to play so patient. Bamya getting close, finally punishing the recovery, only finding a neutral air for it. Oh, Skeldra, the mix! Oh my gosh, my ankles started feeling uncomfortable from that too.
Not me, I have young ankles. And there's the recovery, okay! We're seeing momentum shift happening.
Oh, it's beginning. It's happening. Bamya looking a lot more comfortable. He has Skeldra off stage for just a moment. Skeldra going for a heinous ground pound. Okay. They're both committing off stage and nobody's getting anything off of it.
We're seeing the difference here, though, for Bamya is it's based off of the gauntlets. That's where the success is coming from, whereas before it was mostly on the side. Now he's just finding a way in. Like, yeah, okay, good.
Nice,
you saw completely disengaged there. He went to the other half of the stage from Skeldra after getting hit in that greatsword string.
Okay, Skeldra, though, he held on to his dodge just in case Bamya went off stage for the reversal. He makes it back on. He eats that end light as well. Bamya, how do you close here? Because you were up 2 stocks to 1. Skeldra looking for perhaps a GC, something or the other.
Oh my gosh, Bamya. He's on the precipice of a 2-stock. There's the sidelight.
Oh, Skeldra being so patient.
Oh, great
D-lights in the wrong direction, but that is okay because Bamya still able to find that sidelight, and he has put himself in the set. He takes this game 3. He stops it from being a 3-0, and now he is making Skeldra fight for it. So I love the fact that you brought up the gauntlets as opposed to the scythe. I feel like the gauntlets were putting in a lot of work, and also his defensive options against greatsword, they really improved. And he started getting a lot more comfortable dash landing out of it, right, which is an important escape option. And as a result, Skeldra, he was not able to get his hands on him like he did in the previous games.
Yeah, that was a fantastic adaptation coming out from Bamya. He just didn't let Skeldra get greatsword momentum, which is very tough. If you ask me to like write an essay on how to stop a greatsword player from getting greatsword momentum, I don't think I'd be able to answer that question for you. So I would look at his gameplay if you have that question.
That's
or
good.
maybe ask Grok. Maybe he knows.
Yeah, well, you could just plagiarize, Bamya's gameplay and
True.
just, take it from there. So, we're going into the next game. Once again, Skeldra has the 2-1 game lead.
Okay.
Let's see what he's able to make happen.
One thing I wanted to say, hopefully nothing happens, is the difference in damage. It was like 386 on the Scythe in a previous game, and then like 60 damage on the Gauntlets. Meanwhile, last game was 122 on the Scythe and 422 on the Gauntlets. So he almost like 10x'd the amount of damage that he did on the Gauntlets, and that is what led to the victory, and that's what he's leaning on here and might lead to the first stock, giving him a massive lead here against Skeldra.
But if you whiff those kinds of GCD lights, you leave yourself so vulnerable to those kinds of punishes. Skeldra goes for the recovery, but he was up too high, and Bamya, as a result, he was able to find his hit before Skeldra did. The recovery sends him so deep off stage, and Skeldra, sweating on the way back down, has no options. Bamya has the lead once again.
Bamya's about like halfway between orange and red here, so nothing too dire. Skeldra could grab a couple strings and do something big, or grab like a goofy signature like the neutral signature. That might have done it in that moment. The D-Light recovery won't. Doesn't have enough force on it just yet, but this one probably will. Yes, it does. Off of the top. And now I feel like the roles have essentially reversed, as Bamya got the first stock, and now Skeldra is the one going into second stock with about 30 damage, basically a mirror image of last game once we got in the second stock.
Bamya was so ready. He was so ready for that recovery, and he got an amazing punish for it as well. Endlight, Skeldra struggling to land, finally catching and landing onto the platform with that neutral. Bamya is coming alive, gets the recovery. Skeldra is off stage, but what?
Just barely finding priority there with the unarmed down air. The unarmed dislikers out there are going to be like freaking out and pointing at the screen saying, see, it's the best in the game! Unarmed is the best weapon!
It needs it. So Skeldra getting the recovery, getting the neutral as well. He is putting on this damage, but Bamya had so much momentum, continuing to shove Skeldra off stage, and he gets that ground pound too. 2 stocks to 1. Bamya is looking unstoppable.
So that's where Skeldra made a decision in that moment to go for the neutral air, compared to what he did in a previous game where he weapon tossed up, which halted the initial move from Bamya, because it's just going to float up there. It's essentially going to act like a wall, whereas like the neutral air, it exists for the time when the neutral air exists. In front of that and behind that, there's nothing there to stop Bamya. So he went for that there, and if he would have gone for the weapon toss like he did previously, then that would have halted Bamya, and he didn't have to work on any like timing or anything specific like that.
Bamya, he is making Skeldra afraid to go for these recoveries. Not able to find a neutral that time around. I love the GCD light. Beautiful stuff. The recoveries from in front and behind. It has such a huge hitbox on it. The recovery comes out, and that is going to be enough to take the stock. Skeldra taking its last stock apiece.
Juggling the weapons to delay the next spawn. Just a moment. It comes in. He's able to cover it with the side air, but the long range that you can pick up weapons from, Bamya's still able to grab the Scythe. He's now floating. Skeldra being careful. You see him moving forward, so he's putting presence out there, but he's also, like, he can still have a little bit of weight on his back foot, so he can move away if he needs to.
Double side light down.
Oh my gosh, he's going to do it. Here he is. We're going to go to a game 5, Dara.
I have to say, the way that Bamya mixed up his movement in this game for you, you saw how much Skeldra struggled to be able to get a single hit on him, to be able to get a single opening on him. The way that Skeldra was playing previously was the following. If my opponent is a little bit floaty, then I'm going in for a recovery. If they're playing a little bit more on the ground, I'm dashing in, dashing out, looking for a whiff, and then I'm able to get some sort of like a side light started. In this case, the way that Bamya was moving, he was baiting Skeldra to go for the recoveries. He was baiting him to be able to play a little bit floaty, because you saw what he was able to do with Scythe neutral, and then with Gauntlet neutral as well. As a result, in that last stock, Skeldra, he could not get a hit on Bamya neutral at all.
And even on the edge, Bamya was definitely the player in control. I mean, he has Gauntlets and he has Scythe. That's definitely not to be unexpected, which is why I think Skeldra needs to just be like an on-stage Samuel and really worry about that. Don't worry about going over onto the edge. I wouldn't risk that because, like,
Samuel?
Yeah, on-stage Samuel. He needs to stay on stage.
Okay.
Be an on-stage Samuel, not be a wall Willy.
Well, I don't know if I've ever said that before, but thank you for coining the terminology, Sparky. Game 5. This is huge. This is to get into top 8 from the winner's side. Both of these players, they want it. They want it so bad, and let's see what they have for us. The question is, can Skeldra get those 3 pieces like he was getting in the beginning? Can he actually threaten Bamya in neutral, or is Bamya going to keep on dominating him in these jump callouts again and again and again?
So Skeldra started this one off with the sword. He was going relatively even, but Bamya's able to start this one off with Gauntlets. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, that was scary. The sweat beads coming up from Skeldra. This is scary. He has his dodge. He's still really high in the air, so he's able to get over onto the main platform directly. But Bamya, he's just sending him away. Every time he gets over, he finds a side air. He finds whatever he needs to send Skeldra over. That's dangerous.
GCN light not going to be able to connect. Bamya looking for the GCD light. It's not going to find its target at all. No whiff punish on the recovery in his face. Eating another side light. Bamya is in control of the stage. And that sight sider, man, that hitbox is massive.
Skeldra banned out Demon Island that was left over by Bamya, and then maybe the order's wrong on that. Skeldra ended up picking not Demon Island, right? Took that off the stage, hoping that a longer sidewall would maybe give him a little bit more room so he doesn't have to fight Bamya on the edge as much. But as we saw, he just kept sending Skeldra over to the wall. He'd get up onto the main stage, over back onto the wall, over towards the right side, over towards that right blast zone every single time. He does get the down air here for the KO. Gonna hold on to that great sword, of course. Bamya's gonna spawn back in. The weapon spawn should be coming in relatively shortly. Yeah, there it is.
The GCN light finisher though, really good stuff.
This is
and
huge.
those are those juggles.
Swap your weapon, swap
and the
your weapon,
GCD
please,
light
please,
as well.
please swap your weapon, please.
Oh, he's not going to. Bamya is going to be able to pick up that scythe, but if I'm Skeldra, I'm feeling pretty good about myself because that was a lot of damage. Whiffing the side light, I love that weapon toss to be able to land back down nice and safe. Oh, Skeldra, he is mixing things up.
I mean, if I'm Skeldra, I'm afraid of Bamya having the weapon because it feels like at this point in the set, Bamya's weapons are outgaming Skeldra's weapons. Although things might be changing here. We're seeing some great sword momentum. He's going to bounce past that one to himself, maybe as a bait, trying to get the dodge from Bamya.
He leaned in. He ate that neutral. He's sweating. Can he make it back onto the stage? Bamya, though, trying to find that recovery. Not going to be able to get it. Skeldra does reset neutral is what I would say until a sidelight recovery finds its target. Bamya taking all of that momentum away from Skeldra. He wants this game. Nice.
Okay, I didn't think that was going to have enough mustard behind it to KO, but it did.
It sure did. Game 5, last stock each.
Please, I really want to keep Bamya weapon starved if I'm Skeldra, and if I'm Bamya, I'm like, yeah, man, throw out some damage on me. That's okay. Just let me get to the weapon, and then I'll let that thing rang.
Landing back down, looking for the neutral. Oh, Skeldra tossing away his weapon, but that is okay because he picks up a sword. He gets pushed off stage, and if I'm Skeldra, I do not want to be out there any longer against Bamya. Okay, Cider. Skeldra able to find a whip punish with a D-Light. The side light as well goes out there for a ground pound, puts himself into the corner. Bamya not able to take advantage of it. Skeldra just playing so safe.
We're in game 5 here. Skeldra's final stock now in the red after that recovery. It's not going to take too much more. Are we going to see a crazy signature coming out from Bamya? Or is he just going to play this one kind of by the book? Maybe attempt the juggle game into the recovery. He's going for the side lights. Skeldra, he's just on the back foot the entire time. So many whiffs coming out. Bamya just has to find the right move at the right time. And Skeldra, he has to play well basically the rest of this game.
What was that? Okay, how does he land back down at this point? Bamya looking for that side light, going to be looking for that D-Light as well. Gets the end light off stage. Skeldra, not enough to be able to KO yet, but keeping him weapon starved. Look at the spacing, not able to get the neutral either. The side light is going to be able to KO as Bamya takes this game 5.
Great victory for Bamya here. It went down to the ending, and that's a little bit to be expected here. Skeldra PR11, Bamya PR7 coming into this one. Bamya, very impressive gameplay. Like, Skeldra came out of the gate swinging.